Hey friends, I am really excited to be on here today. We're in Virgo season, which people don't usually associate with insomnia, but I wanted to share 3 tips with you on how you can improve your sleep. Because what it boils down to is having a really good system, which is ruled by Virgo, okay, is systems. So I'm going to put these on real quick because it is past 9 o'clock, which is my usual curfew on the video stuff, just to keep the blue light on. The blue light glasses on so that the light isn't affecting me so much, which is one way you can help with your insomnia. So anyway, what are 3 ways that you can get better sleep starting now? Number 1, this is the thing that I've seen help more clients than anything else over the past 15 years. Well, the second thing, but number 1 is magnesium. How are you doing with your magnesium in general? So some natural forms of magnesium you could get through in terms of diet would be dark leafy greens, okay? Nuts is another one. Chocolate's another one. You probably don't want to do that at night. But these are just a few ways that you can get magnesium. Now, that said, our food system has been depleted with, like the soil's been depleted, for freaking a long, long time. Like I know there are articles in the 90s I was reading where it's like soil is depleted of magnesium, right? And so that's that wasn't when, but it was in the 2000s that I started to suggest it for clients based off of stuff that mentors that I had who were teaching me medical medicine and naturopathic medicine and everything. Okay, so magnesium was a big one. Magnesium helps with so many things. So when you think of magnesium, it's a softening agent, right? And it's awesome. There's so many articles now on it. There were no articles there about it back then, right? But there's been tons of research on it. When you look into magnesium, you can see that it has a softening effect on the body. When you think about the things it helps with, right? Historically has been used for things such as tension in the muscles, being tight. You take it, there's a sense of relaxation, constipation. If people have constipation, that's caused by tightness, right? It can help to relax the bowels. For some people, if you take too much, it can lead to where you have a little bit too much and you're going to go in the opposite direction of constipation. But another thing it can help with that I've seen it work with clients that they've reported, and I've seen it time and time again, is tension headaches, right? So if you have tension headaches from tightness. Now, another piece that a lot of people don't talk about is that magnesium can be a very good thing to take as a little bit of, it can help with detoxification, not just through the organs of elimination in the sense of the bowels, but also, I mean, when you are tightly wound, and you have like anxiety, which is another thing that people will take magnesium for, that tightness in the nervous system, that nervous tension, okay? That's more of a physiological sensation I'm speaking of. Now, the nervous system can get really tight. And when you take magnesium, it kind of opens things up. It opens up the muscles. It opens up the channels. And so when you take magnesium, you will find that your body has a better ability to detoxify. Now, I truly believe that this can even help with things such as if we have like, tight muscles that lead to actually cellulite or tight fascia, because what happens is the tissues can be softer, more supple to where you have less of this tightness that's kind of tugging and pulling on the muscles. So that's another way that you could use magnesium. Those are actually not another way. Those are many different things you might see shift, right, just by taking the magnesium. Now, sleep, okay? I have seen so many people's sleep improve just by taking it. Now, there are many different types of magnesium. What I have found is that when people do a magnesium complex, it includes citrate, malate, and glycinate, all 3 of those together. That seems to be hands down the most effective thing I've seen. Now, you do want to talk to your practitioner about dosage to make sure that it's like the actual proper amount. What I see commonly happen over and over again, even suggested by supplement companies or whoever is sharing this, what happens is that people will actually give people twice as much calcium as magnesium. But when you think of magnesium being the softening agent, calcium is the hardening agent. When you think about calcium, right, you think about tightness, you think about bones, there's hardness, there's firmness, okay? We need calcium for sure, but we have a very calcium-rich diet in general. A lot of what we eat has, in terms of, let's say, the typical modern diet is pretty high in calcium. Now, that said, there's a strong relationship between calcium and magnesium. Okay. When you take calcium, your body needs magnesium in order to absorb the calcium. Okay. So if you take, let's say, 1,000 milligrams of calcium, right? It's a 1-to-2 ratio. If you take 1,000 milligrams of calcium, your body needs 500 milligrams of magnesium. So in that case, if you have 1,000 milligrams of calcium and you take 500 magnesium over here, you still have 500 magnesium. Okay, cool. So you've got 500 magnesium. That's actually not how it works, right? That's what a lot of the supplement companies will do. That's not how it works, okay? So erase that whole thing. What you need ideally, right, and this is based off of what I've seen, learned from the naturopathic practitioners that I study with and herbalists I've studied with and what I've seen time and time working with clients, okay, is having twice as much magnesium as calcium. So if you have 1,000 milligrams of magnesium and 500 of calcium, you're still going to be left over. You'll still have 500, milligrams of the magnesium left over. If you take 500 magnesium and 500 calcium, it's canceled out. Does it make sense what I'm saying? So ideally, when you're taking your supplement with magnesium, you want to make sure that you have at least enough magnesium to cover the reserves that the calcium needs, but also enough of the reserves so your body still has some magnesium left within it, if that makes sense. Okay. So I've seen magnesium for sure help clients with, and what they've reported, stress, anxiety, insomnia, muscle tension, back pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, constipation, headaches that are pretty chronic. Yeah, like just the list goes on. It's a really, really powerful supplement. And as you know, you can find tons of research online, right, about this. So that's one thing you can try, okay, to help with your sleep. Now, another thing you really might want to consider, and it's something that I brought up at the beginning of this, okay, is really lowering, like decreasing your exposure to the screen time at night. And this is something, again, that is being talked about more and more. And you see things like this, these great blue light glasses. These are from the company Firmoo, F-I-R-M-O-O. I really like this design in particular. My first pair were like really heavy and clunky plastic, and they're great. And I actually keep those by my bed because they're kind of uncomfortable for me. They're a little heavy for my face. I'm really sensitive, but I like that they're heavy for my face. So if I have them on, now I don't keep my phone by my bed anymore. So it's not the case. I don't really need them there anymore. But if I were on my phone at night, then the glasses would actually be a cue for me, that because after so many minutes, I'd be like, oh, these are a little heavy. And then I'd be like, okay, get off your phone. But now I just have a scheduled time for that, which we'll get to that. So really consider getting something like that. These are nice and light. I really like a nice wire light frame if you're highly sensitive, which many of you who do watch this are highly sensitive, right? This nice light frame of these blue light glasses. And I have a set, anywhere that I tend to sort of like pop a squat with my phone. So at my computer, and then on my couch, the side that I like to stay on, where I might sit there and scroll a little bit. So I have a pair there. And then again, I had one by my bed, but I'm not doing it by my bed anymore. So there's two things, right? Decreasing your screen time, right? Physically decreasing your screen time, but also doing things like having blue light glasses when you are on the computer, because the blue light, okay, if you're not already familiar, the blue light is evocative of the daylight, the bright daylight, right? And so when we are doing the screen time, when we are on the screen, the daylight will actually, give our body signals to be awake, right? Now, if we're on the screen and it's the middle of the day, towards the end of the day, and we think it's like high noon, right? Or if it's I would actually think that maybe it would be earlier in the morning, because I would think the sun is like a little cooler then. I don't know if that's true, but anyway, I digress. The point is that the later it gets, if it's dark outside and you don't have anything like blue light blocking glasses, right, that blocks the blue light, then your body will read the screen light as daylight and will physiologically do things to try to keep your body actually awake and up. So this is why when you wake up in the middle of the night, scrolling on your phone is not helping. Okay. So I want to highly suggest, if you do wake up in the middle of the night, maybe getting a book and genuinely just reading a book. And do you remember times in your life where you'd read a book and let the book fall on your face? You know, you can get there to where you get kind of sleepy, and with that book, with that rhythmic reading, and even making it, I don't know, get it to be something that you are not super intrigued by, like something that's maybe, I love nonfiction, but maybe something nonfiction that you're intrigued by, but not enough to where you're just gonna like super get juicy involved in it. Or if you're like me, for me, actually, it's better if I pick up a fiction book, because for whatever reason, I don't love fiction. I've found I like science fiction, and I'm very specific about it. But yeah, so pick up a book that you're like interested enough to read, but not interested enough to get super caught up in it, as a means to not pick up your phone if you wake up in the middle of the night, okay? So the third thing I want to suggest, which is a little bit less of a technique to take, it's more of an awareness. If you're taking a multivitamin, and because we're sort of on this topic of like fake awakeness, you know, if you're taking a multivitamin and it has D in it and you take it towards the middle or the end of the day, the D hormone can make your body feel like you're awake. So if you take the D and it's like, again, kind of like mimicking sunlight, right? Because that's where we get like a lot of the vitamin D from. Our bodies will similarly like respond to the D as it might the blue light. So you want to take your multi, if it has D or D vitamin in general, in the morning, because that could actually be affecting your sleep. Okay, so if you're somebody who is already into health and taking supplements or whatever, you know, you might consider taking your D earlier in the day. So there's 3 tips for you. Okay, we've got a couple of like, you know, food-based tips that you could take in terms of looking at magnesium. And, you know, on that note, you could even consider, if you feel like you're having way too much calcium and you've got a lot of tension, you could even just decrease your calcium a little bit and see if that helps. Yeah, so we've got the magnesium, we've got taking the blue light glasses, and then the vitamin D, which is not so much a tip, so much as just in case, just something to be aware of. And I'll kind of leave it at that. So I hope you guys have a great night, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Okay, bye-bye.